Welcome back to the LCS Proving Grounds presented by Verizon. I'm Pastry, this is Raz, and it's 3-0 now for Evil Geniuses Academy as they're looking to beat up 100 Thieves as many times as possible here in the Proving Grounds here as they look to make their way into the losers finals. But only up one game, Raz, in the best of 5, so still plenty of room for 100 Thieves to come back.
Yeah, you know what's happening here? 100 Thieves Academy is just compiling data throughout the series.
Downloading.
It is strategic inting, but like honestly, the game itself was fun. It was a really fun back and forth, and even when they were behind during the game, I thought that Poom specifically, I thought was a stud. Had great ways to come back on his Alistar. There was one that happened mid lane, another one that happened bot lane. Nocturne might be on the ban list just because it was really annoying from the side of EGA. I didn't feel like they felt comfortable playing around that with an advantage, so that's something to look forward to in Game 2.
Also curious, if the jungle pool changes at all. Like, we definitely kind of accept that Udyr Hecarim are like the junglers and they get traded a lot, but they were both banned in the other game, and EG kind of forced 100 Thieves' hand by banning one of them. It's like, well, we have to ban the other one or you're going to get it, and I'm going to be left in a world of pain. So instead, it's 100 Thieves on the blue side, and Italy is already out of there.
There it is. Blue side actually feels so good for the team that's, planning ahead and what their first 3 picks are, because A, you have the freedom to take away the Nidalee, where in red side you're trying to take away anything that you feel like is demonic as a first pick. And then what you saw what EG Academy did last game, where they banned the Hecarim and forced Evil Geniuses Academy to trade bans so they can get it away. And it made it so EG Academy have to ban that, or at least 100 Thieves Academy that last game, in game 1. The red side had to ban it or deal with it immediately. This case, EG Academy is just starting with an Udyr ban. So I wonder if the Hecarim is also going to be the 3rd ban, or if they're more willing to play against that.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Tom Kench is continuing to be banned in this series, so I'm expecting that to be a mainstay here. Probably don't want to give that and Senna TK specifically away to 100 Thieves Academy's bottom lane. But other than that, Solution and Renekton once again here for 100 Thieves Academy. So basically the same ban strategy. They changed one ban to take Nidalee out of the last game. They're going to first pick Rel here, kind of taking the best pick available here on blue side. And I just think I like the plan they had in the last game. I just feel like it's way more effective on blue side.
Yeah, and I feel like 100 Thieves are going to feel robbed last game because of how bad the early game started for them. It didn't really feel like they got a chance to play out their strategy, so they're just going to do this. And honestly, last time 100 Thieves Academy played EG, they literally had the same first pick. So this is just something that they just value. Rel is a great engage tool that works with so many picks like the Nocturne that they had last game. So it just feels something that Poom, their playmaker, is just definitely going to want regardless.
Yep, gonna steal the Kai'Sa here as well. Perhaps already have the Alistar taken away there, and indeed it will be Kai'Sa here for sure. Xayah looked great last game, but Kai'Sa may be the best marksman on this patch, hard to say, but certainly up there, and champion you can output a lot of damage with and also outplay your opponents with, kind of like Shoyu was doing on Xayah in the last game. So gonna be a tough target to pin down, which is kind of where you want your AD to be.
Yeah.
100 Thieves Academy though, we'll see how they respond here.
And with no Thresh and with Tom Kench banned, it just means that Xayah is likely going to be the pick. Oh, Tristana as well. Tristana is very good. Also a flex to mid lane. So I like that, actually. I like the fact that we're changing to that. But yeah, just for people, if you want to see more diversity, like the Jinxes, Aphelios, and all that, Thresh and Tom Kench make it much more easier to go for those picks. In fact, otherwise it just feels so hard with how much engage tools there are in this game. But yeah, 100 Thieves Academy will go into Tristana, Nocturne, and Rel, which is another great engage style composition.
Yeah, it looks like Olaf here as well for contracts. Interesting. So not something that's, as high on the tier list, but certainly very playable. And I think Contracts just wants to be on the aggressive end of any of these jungle matchups. So anytime he can pick something and try and bully Kenvi around in the early game here while he's looking to farm up to 6, he's going to take those opportunities. Would love to do it on Italy. Obviously, he's not going to get that champion again probably in the series, so going to take Olaf here instead, as Tenacity is going to lose his volley bear here.
I like the Olaf versus Rel and Nocturne effect, right off the bat. Just because that idea of stunning, like if you're trying to fight the jungle in an early skirmish, I mean, just pop 6, you have Olaf ultimate, and if you're in a team fight, Nocturne should get, he feels really useless if he is not able to make use of his tether, of his sphere. So that's one way it looks like Contracts is going to try and play around that with the team fight comp that they have. And talking about like mid laners is going to be something that both teams would want to look towards. I expect that to be a Tristana bot lane versus the Kai'Sa. So Victor, Orianna, they're all up. I think Ori is a godlike pick for EG Academy with the comp that they have, so it's a great ban from EG. I don't think this should be a Victor early pick. I think I would love for EG Academy to pick top here and save, because if they just go for an early Victor pick or something like that, I think it's too easy to counter.
Yeah, we'll see. It would like make sense given the bans that have happened to kind of take that pick away here, but I think giving counter pick to Jojopyun, who's been really good so far this tournament, and even in just the games we've seen so far in this series. So it is indeed going to be on over to Tony Top. Something he's maybe not as well known for, but I think if you want to give, a player that's not as used to playing tanks and weak side, a champion, On's like pretty good.
Yeah.
I also think like Nara is good for that reason, right? If you're a more aggressive player, but you have to play something a little bit more tank and team oriented, I think Nara is the kind of pick that you should be going for. So I also like that 100 Thieves Academy kind of banning that one and just forcing him to change things up. It is Victor though. For Demonte is kind of expected, so it is going to be Aatrox now for Tenacity, finally going to be given a little bit more room to play something a bit more aggressive. Because again, this was a player that was very good on, the more aggressive, the more carry style champions. Aatrox in his pool so far this tournament, or this year, let's say, has been kind of the most aggressive pick he's pulled out.
Yeah, he's had some great Aatrox games. It's a good pick if you know what you're going into. I think a lot of times Aatrox gets a bad rep because it's blind picked. So he doesn't really get a chance to play the game. And there we go. Jojopyun on a Sylas. And when we don't have an image for Jojopyun to put on a graphic or anything, we use Sylas instead because it's just a pick that he's so damn good on. So I love the fact that he gets the opportunity to play it. He has Nocturne ultimate. He has the Rel ultimate. So this one is not as juicy as, Sylas games in the past, but he's just way too good. And it makes it easier now for Olaf to play through mid lane. Victor's going to have a tough time dealing with Olaf and Sylas.
Yeah, and the side lanes too will have the same problem if that spills over. Sylas is just so good when he roams out of lane as well. It tends to be where you get a lot of your leads, but I think with the way Contracts and Jojopyun play together, there is a lot of threat here in the 2v2 around mid, which is will be something fun to watch. And just Sylas scaling is kind of absurd. The fact that his ulti basically gives you additional AP ratios on ultimates you're already stealing that have pretty good ratios a lot of the time. Tristana, when you have 4 or 5 items, is absolutely ridiculous.
That's true.
As Sylas. Not a skill you'd think that would do too much damage, but if you've played since Season 1, you may remember the terror of mid lane Trist and her ultimate. So Sylas can kind of recreate some of that, I guess, nightmare for you.
Yeah, without the AP ratio on the jump. That one was a doozy.
Yeah, look. It's some of the old champions were... It was different. It was a different time.
It was a different time. There's a lot of things we want to expel off our mind from those times. That's for sure. AP Scion with the pointing click stun. That one that one was pure hatred. Anytime you have to face that. But yeah, I think it's interesting when we talk about scaling, because that side that the Sylas, Ornn, specifically Sylas and Kai'Sa, very short range versus the Victor and Tristana. Overall, if you're looking at from a front to back perspective, if we're just having a gentleman's handshake, I like what 100 Thieves Academy has. But we don't get that. The games are scrappy, a little bit chaotic, and Sylas is going to be on side lane forcing the Victor to match him. So this is going to be a game where it's Commander Sylas. Everything Sylas says on his move timers. Okay, Captain, we're fighting. If he has a flank, okay, Captain, you say when we go. For me, Jojopyun has a lot on his shoulders in this specific game. As the game goes on, if he has an advantage, of course, then it's based off of what ultimate he has that they're going to fight. It's based off of where he's in, if he's in a flank position or if he has on side lane, that they're going to fight around. So I love the fact that they have a lot of confidence in this young player.
All right, well, looks like
some
spicy level 1s are brewing as well. This is one of the other things Sylas gives you. Luga going to get chained up. And Troy's going to chase him. Luga going to skill jump and jump away. Very disciplined skilling there from the Trist. And does get out nice and easily, even though he does have to commit a skill point to the W early.
What has the scrims been for EG Academy that it feels like 2 games in a row? The strategy is, of course, they want to burn a flash off someone, but certainly put him back to base late. It's at least Luger will come back and he won't be in a bad position. But that was a really smart level 1. We've seen that a few times with Sylas in the past. Really well done.
Yeah, we'll be slightly late here. Although if he's leashing anyway, might not matter. Looks like he's going to go ahead and help. Kenby, it's going to be the same though for Olaf here. It's kind of like, it's funny, it's kind of like two different sides of the same story where Contracts just wants help so we can, you know, outspeed Kenby, and Kenby wants help to try and keep pace with Olaf, as Jojo Poon is already walking in and warding. Poom's going to spot that and sweep it away, but that's going to give some information there. Now they have to know Kenby's on red.
Yeah, good overall decision to do that. They know that Kenby was on red true. They just don't know the timing on it. If he's going from red Raptors to top side, but in this case, he's doing a full clear of the bot side jungle. So the timing is going to be a little, you know, you just don't know what his goal is going to be, which is nice that Poom has done that to kind of cover for his jungle.
Yeah, a little bit of information denial as well, and also some XP. And some gold goes over, so Poom happy to commit the sweeper there. Luger and Poom, they're also going to look to be aggressive here. They were kind of on the defensive end of the 2v2 in the last game, going to be on the aggressive end this time around. I think we are going to expect to see Rel dictate a lot of the kind of action in these matchups.
It depends.
Hitting level 2 first dictates as well.
It depends, because I would actually give the nod to Shoryu and Mystiques, because like, oh my god, wait a second.
Yeah, Contract's already here. Axe is going to have to be flashed, and Dojo Pyun is at it again.
Yeah, Damonte didn't know if that was going to hit. If it was going to hit, it was going to be on the tip of the hitbox. But in this case, he did a respect flash. But take a look at this now. He needs to get out of there.
Yeah, that sweeper did actually give him a little bit of early info. Kenby looking for the fear is going to be forcing the flash on the other side. So now it's a mid laner and a jungler on two different teams without their splash. And Kenby looking to invade. Contracts insta-smites the big raptor. And then it's going to chase Kenby out of there.
Yeah, I mean, that was really close. Remember, Kenby does have exhaust there, so that was a good early flash from Contract.
Oh my goodness, he's such a beast. Dojo Pyun's in there, he's gonna get first blood. That's a solo kill at the end of it all.
Didn't even need him. I don't need you, Contracts. You're just the insurance policy.
Just the vision. There's a ward to the left of the river, making sure Kenby doesn't get involved. TP back for Damonte. Poom's here as well, but Jojo Pyun, the heist is over. He's completed it.
Oh,
man. This one again, so beautiful.
Just didn't have any way to get out of that. Remember, flash blown from Damonte. Last tick of his auto attack is able to finish off. Jojo Pyun, we said that this was going to be him being the captain of the ship, and it's already starting out really well.
Yeah, this play's pretty good, huh? His counter pick working out well so far. Damonte going to have no TP and no flash now, but to be fair, Jojo Pyun's not going to have either as well. Can be continuing to clear through the jungle, going to be a little bit behind the Olaf as expected, but will ding 4 here as he takes out the Grump, and Contracts hasn't had nearly the same amount of influence on both sides of the jungle this go around. It is once again Commander Silas here for Jojo Pyun, causing those problems early.
And these lanes have been working out, as they should, where in this case I wanted to mention Shoryu and Mystiques should be confident with how they play out their bot lane, just because you don't want to fight into a Hail of Blades Kai'Sa really early on. Along with the plasma stacks, it's just difficult to fight into that. Also has exhaust, just to point that out there. So Mystiques has just found the Rel.
Yeah, actually now been found out. All the CC chains in, the exhaust is down as well. Poom now gonna have to force a flash, but he can't flash anywhere. So Contracts just collects one.
All right, wrong place, wrong time. He wanted to get a defensive ward down. This would be the timing that Contracts would want to take first Dragon. Remember, he pathed bot to top. So this was his timer to go bot, take Dragon, and then path right back topside. But he found a Rel in his stead. And Silas with the great presence of mind to come in, abscond, abduct, easy kill.
Yeah, now Jojo Pyun holding this wave. Just going to get slowly pushing back. He's down, about a wave of CS, but going to cut that down pretty rapidly here as Damonte does not want to step forward in this 1v1. As already knows that Jojo Pyun is willing to flash on him at a moment's notice and doesn't even have flash right now. That's how scary it is. But Damonte just going to have to play patient here. Really is at the whim of how Silas wants to control this lane, as Jojo Pyun's going to get it pushing back now.
Is this a Dragon being done by 100 Thieves? Feels like a bit of a gambit here.
Ooh. Poom also going to get aggressive. Ignites on the Contracts, though. Damage is good, but he's dead. So that's a good start there. Now Mr. Quest is onto Luger. Luger's going to have to jump out and does get out, but Tony Top's here. Not level 6, though, and isn't going to get the knock up there. Not quite the distance he needed onto that wall. So 100 Thieves going to get 1 kill, but they won't get the Dragon they started initially.
Yeah, that actually does work out so much better for 100 Thieves. I was worried for them because BG does contest as a team. They should be able to win that fight. But look at the overreaction there. Tony top teleporting towards the bot side in an already really bad wave state. 49 minions to 28, and it's only getting worse. He tried to help the team, and it's only he's gonna pay for it.
Yeah, and if he's level 6, different story, right? Easiest on ulti of his life, maybe gets 2 or 3 kills for the team. Well worth the investment of the teleport. As it stands, though, yeah, I agree with you. Not looking good there. Down 20 CS and counting here is going to be very vulnerable to Kenvy's gank. Level 5 here for the Nocturne. Doesn't need the 6 given this positioning.
Yeah.
Although he's maybe going to be close enough to it as well. So Tony going to have to be very careful right now.
Yeah, the fact that he also used this flash throughout the entire ordeal, too. If you commit your top's teleport, you're doing everything you can so you can make it worthwhile with a kill or something. And they didn't get anything. So this is just punishment central. Thank God Contracts comes in just to help him out so he can push this wave, and otherwise it's just demoralizing.
Yeah, and doesn't even move into maybe break it here, but at least enough coverage for Tony to know that probably nothing bad's happening. It's mid lane where the action is once again. Jojo Poon's going to find the stun, but Gravity Well is going to find the second. But it is Alistar in hot pursuit. Jojo Poon's going to steal the ulti. Chaos Storm out though, and this is a level 3 Alistar in a lot of trouble. Now level 4, very conveniently timed. Does get out safely as well, was looking to counter-engage in mid lane.
So close, just outside the reach of the headbutt pulverized combo, right? So it was a good attempt overall, and it's only making it clearer that Damonte, he was going to be a target before the game started. But especially with how this lane has been going, it's not going to stop. They wanted to get a flash, I would suppose, but he's still going to hold on to his flash. Damonte going back mid lane, and Contracts.
Oh, Contracts is in there. It's a 1v3, but it just doesn't matter. Kenvy can't stun him, can't do anything, can't fight the Olaf. And Contracts just takes out the kill and's going to grab the red buff as a bonus.
All right. I mean, second in command, Juan. Wait, Contracts is getting teleported on.
Oh,
he's just going forward.
He's committed. It doesn't matter. Damonte flashing into the blast cone. Contracts over the wall. He's going to be A-OK for now, but Aatrox there to finish it off. And Tenacity will get the kill. It is going to be Mr. Quest in trouble in a 1v4. Nowhere to go, and Luger is going to collect that kill.
All right. There is life now in this game. Tenacity was the beneficiary of all of what was happening around Dragon, and now he pays it forward. Great TP collapsed, and now we have ourselves a pretty damn fed Aatrox.
And again, I mean, this one I like, right? Kenvy just can't do anything. It's a 1v3, and Olaf's like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're right, and here's the thing, though. It comes back when you look back at this play. The team will likely, after this game, even though it looks fantastic, you get the kill on Kenvy. Like, remember, that's a TP advantage from the Aatrox. They will always be able to pull the trigger and collapse here. So an invade like this, very risky. You have to feel confident that you're ahead as a team. And in this case, it was just a bad call.
It's a good point. And 100 Thieves with maximum punish there just about. Getting a couple kills there in the jungle. Feeding gold over to Luger. Tenacity is now an absolute monster. Level 8 to level 7, so keeping the XP lead as well. He's up 33 CS there in the top lane. That's a huge amount. And even though On is probably not expected to do too well in the 1v1, teleporting away while getting smashed obviously is not going to help. So Contracts back in mid. That's the only place he knows. Apparently Ragnarok popped. See you later. And now the follow-up there from Alistar. That's going to be Poom dead as well. Indeed, it will be as doubles come in for Olaf, both the buffs and the kills.
All right, it's an official. It's a snowball. Like this game. This game is relentless. If at first you don't succeed, all right, go back to Plan A. And it's definitely with Victor getting pummeled. This is going to be a dragon that they take very easily.
All right, well, Dragon over, not as early as it could have been, but still happy to take it here once again. Contracts is at the top of the charts as far as gold goes. 4,400 gold almost there. Jojo Poon, the one next in line, he's about 500 gold ahead of his mid laner, who's also doing very well. As Alistar is going to go ahead back home. Kenvy at least going to try and trade off here and get the Rift Herald. This happened last game as well after that first dragon, but we'll see if Kenvy can get a little bit more damage done here with the Herald, or at least get some plates for a teamate here. I'm definitely eyeing top lane here, as Tenacity's already done such a good job, and he's even going to come down to help.
Yeah, you're right when you said that it reminds you of last game. There's a lot about this game that reminds me of last game. Damonte and Kenvy behind early. Yep, you got a check mark for that. Early dragons being taken, as you had mentioned, for Contracts, who is phenomenally ahead. Check mark on that one as well. And at least with this one, Tenacity has a huge lead, so they can play towards him and on his timers. But that's a must now. And I think 100 Thieves do have engaged tools like you saw in the first Dragon, or at least like the first attempt at it, where Rel, Nocturne, and Tristana can pick off people who are just off on their own. So that's a playmaking tool that they can do to get back into the game on their own. But it's going to be tough. JoJoPyeon and Contracts are just so monstrously ahead right now.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to get worse. Stridebreaker finished there for Contracts. Goredrinker, though, done for Tenacity. So it is the two players that are most ahead for their teams. First of the mythic items kind of makes sense, as 2v2 has been going actually really well for both sides. Show you even in CS here up against Luger and Poom. It just feels like it's been a lot of back and forth here. In fact, there's 10 plates still down here in the bottom side of the map. So kind of unlike the attention that spilled over from level 1 before into the bottom side, that hasn't happened here yet, at least. It has certainly been very centralized in this game.
It's generally really hard to look for a play bot lane, because there's always going to at least be defensive wards, or if a team is stacking a wave and you see them, enemy team, like ducking out of Fog of War mid lane, you can see the play coming from a mile away, and the jungler will be there to defend. So in this case, they're like, all right, we're both just happy with the champions that we have, and we're going to be using our supports on whenever we're trying to get vision with our jungler. Like, you know, in this case, you see Poom getting an idea that Contracts was invading there, so they have eyes on that. So but both AD carries are just going to be farming. It reminds me of yesterday, game between C9 Academy and Norg. It felt like the game was decided everywhere outside of bot lane.
Right.
Yeah.
And then bot lane scooped in for the kills whenever the team fights broke in one way.
Typical.
As top side, yeah, I mean, you know what? That's the life of the bot lane sometimes. Feels bad, man. Top side, Rift Herald dropped right on time, actually, for Kenvi. Was running low on timer there, but more than enough time to get these plates, and Tenacity has done a little bit of groundwork here on this tower.
Get that gold!
Gonna grab that gold indeed. No gank, though, forthcoming. In fact, Kenvi's just left. That's all he needed to do there, was deliver the Herald to the top side. Tony Top collects the 25 gold out of Shelly, and Contracts is very unsurprisingly here in mid lane. Just
all right.
Yeah, Stridebreaker on him. Yeah, Ragnarok! JoJoPyeon, oh, he stole the ulti. He's trying to Chaos Storm. He's not going to get it. Poon, they're over the top. Luca with the punish. Very well played by 100 Thieves. Finally, catch a move Rick standing.
Yeah, that's the part of the VOD you don't look back on. That one, we are so off the same page. That was a delay and a half. Where Contracts is like, actually, I can just kill him. He just noticed how much, he knew how much damage he did, and he was checking him. Maybe if remember, JoJoPyeon has flash. He could look for the play. But at the end of the day, I think that's just too cheap. You don't want to do that. Demonte can play around it. I think he had flash at the time, but have to look back at it. But it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, you don't look for it, and at the very least, let your mid laner know.
Yeah, do it together. You know, if you're gonna get a little wild. Demonte did have flash, still has flash. Does deflect that gank thanks to the very nice timing of his bottom lane. Luger actually with 2 kills and 1 assist right now, so feeling pretty good about the early acceleration gold that Tristana is getting. But that will not deter JoJoPyeon for too much longer. Both mages actually still, I guess it's an anti-mage versus a mage, don't worry about it. You know, still looking for that first mythic, but have taken some detours here, got some rings, got actually 2 different rings. We got the cooldown boots, because everybody needs those now. They're just the coolest thing ever. So, still scaling up here, but JoJoPyeon again, just so much pressure. Constantly diving onto Demonte here.
This should be a dragon here for Evil Genius Academy. Tenacity's coming down bot lane to secure it, but remember, Tony Top has teleport. Tristana does not have her Kraken. She doesn't have her item just yet. Meanwhile, Shoryu has his mythic. Contract is ready and has been online for some time. So, honestly, Evil Geniuses, I think, want to fight for this one. It just depends on if Tony Top wants to be here. He's teleporting in.
He's going to be asked to be here regardless. As you mentioned, as TP'd in, as JoJoPyeon also TPing back through. Oh, there's Tony Top. I was wondering where Tony went to. But he's now ready with the ulti. Level 11 as well in the on. Going to be a 5v5, if nothing else.
Yeah,
we'll see
this
if
is usually rough
when
when
dragon.
Your engagers are not in a flank position, not in a, like, Poom is looking. So he's in a position where he can flash, you know, W, Rel, ulti, all these things. And he's going to be eyeing.
Here he comes. Pops the ulti in. Oh, actually now counter pops it, sorry, because already was used. Damage is massive there on the front side. It's AoE there onto EG, but Contracts, he's taking down Demonte. Luger, though, still free firing. Needs to be picked off there, and it's Alistar that's going to get melted on the front side. Jojo Pyun, he's going to be next to go. Sure, but no, the health he got back is absolutely ridiculous, but Luger still alive alongside Tenacity, and it's going to be a 2v1 to finish it off as it's a triple kill out of the Aatrox, and Tony Top's going to make it the Aces. Luger collects the last one.
Style on him, man. Tenacity is huge this game. Luger and Tenacity throughout that entire fight were safe and pristine, and that's the early game coming into play, that advantage that Tenacity had. Take a look at this. The ulti, the second ulti from Orin missed. So Demonte actually got a lot of damage down and was able to stay alive. Meanwhile, the Orin, who is the Fed member on the Evil Geniuses Academy team, gets popped early in the fight. So from this point forward, just keep your eyes on Luger and keep your eyes on Tenacity here. It's like they're the ones that are so free to fight and fire off. I was a little concerned there from Luger. He did jump in preemptively and was going to throw his life away, but had to flash out instantly, keep range. But at the end of the day, he recognized that, and it's going to be Luger, it's going to be Tenacity, and it's going to be 100 Thieves that stand tall.
Yeah, 404 and 403 for Luger and Tenacity respectively. So 2 items already done for almost both of them. Now Luger has the Kraken Slayer and is working toward item number 2. Already the Sterix finished now for Tenacity, and 100 Thieves up 2,500 gold. Didn't get the Dragon, but we can kind of think about fighting for these next few, as Kenby's going to grab the second Rift Herald for his team.
Yep. Unlike
last game, does manage to get both this time around, and going to start opening up the map and applying pressure to EG. This was kind of the position EG were in last game. Maybe the lead wasn't quite as big as it was in game 1 for Evil Geniuses Academy, but 100 Thieves certainly in a good position to have a very strong mid game.
Yeah, and so I just don't think any of the mistakes that we saw, like the big mistakes that we saw last game, will happen again. Usually, like something as punishing as that, you just recognize if we lose one member, just back away and play it safe. And I think in this game, 100 Thieves have another lead. They don't want to throw that, away again. And one thing I love about Best of Fives is just like the evolution of it, where you see a player starts popping off and their primary, in this case, Tenacity, their primary role is playing tanks, playing for the squad, like we saw from the analyst desk, that conversation that was happening. But if he is having a moment like this, you're like, wait a minute, next game, why don't you give him all the draft dollars?
Yeah.
Give him the carries. Like, get him down at 5th pick. Like, if Tenacity recognizes and he has confidence that he's doing well versus Tony, you might see changes like that happen.
Yeah, I mean, that is, as you said, one of the nice things about a longer series, and will be really fun to track how that goes, because you have to think, especially if EG, do something you haven't done yet this tournament, which is drop games to 100 Thieves, and in their eyes, it still hasn't happened yet. Still going to have to make them work for it here, although 100 Thieves are positioned well. We know Tony Top will not shy away from his carries if given the opportunity to pick them, so certainly could get real spicy in the top side if both of them want to flex his carry muscles a little bit here. But as it stands, Evil Geniuses Academy going to have to lean on this 3rd dragon here and this Ocean Soul, which is a very powerful soul if you can get it. But going to need to grab that 3rd dragon, of course, to make that a viable threat.
That is probably the most important thing to think about, is the fact that there's a lot of sustain on the map already from how good Tenacity has been playing. And now you have to deal with an Ocean Soul. We need healing reduction. Tony Top already has that. I mean, he's going to be fine. If anyone touches him, great. We need to see it from Shoryu, Jojo Pyun. Essentially, like later on in these fights, we need to make it sure that 100 Thieves, who are going to be, should be beneficiaries of the next Ocean Dragons, get ahead. But here goes. Where's the fight happening?
Bottom side. It is Jojo Pyun that's getting chased away. Has the Aatrox ulti stolen, but it doesn't matter. Tenacity just going to dunk on him. And he and Kenvi going to clean up one.
All right, the captain's not looking good here.
Boots leaking.
Yeah, it's we don't have the tools to keep the ship afloat. They put him against the Aatrox. That honestly, these are the type of lane assignments where you're like, we can't have Ornn go up against him. He's getting pounded. But you definitely can't have Silas versus him either. This Aatrox has no more opponents now in the side lane that can take him. So from this point forward, side lane advantage is there for 100 Thieves. And if anything's happening for Evil Geniuses Academy on one side of the map, they're on a timer.
All right, well, minute 25 now until that dragon happens here. Certainly Tenacity feels like he has all the room in the world, whether it's in the side lane or in these fights, to push 100 Thieves over through this mid game. Step one's definitely going to be deflecting this next dragon, because can't afford to give the EG, just makes the game too volatile. But Evil Genius Academy, pretty scrappy, I think is a generous word. They love fighting, which is really fun to watch. And Contracts, despite collecting a few more deaths than he had the last time around we saw early on in this game, still very good at kind of zerging a backline threat, especially if Luger is threatened at all by the Olaf, or maybe one of the person jumping in. Let's say Jojo steals the Nocturne ulti again and is able to use it first this time around, which was one of the things that made it difficult around that last dragon fight. You know, Luger's massive here alongside Tenacity, so it is tricky that you have to deal with, you know, a frontline threat and a backline threat. Yeah. Because typically you don't have space to deal with both. But if you can neutralize Luger and kite out Tenacity, going to be a lot easier for you, especially if you get a pick here. But Poom is going to jump away there unmounted and be just fine.
Yeah, it's been happening too much to Poom this game getting caught out, so he's recognizing that he's... Oh, wait a second.
Can you catch this Aatrox? I don't know what the answer to that question is. I don't think so. Tenacity popping off. Luger descending with the rest of the team. And Demonte's going to pick up a kill as well. Make it 3 already. Luger's jumping in to celebrate as Tony Tubb's going to get chased all the way back to the tier 2 and into the fountain. Not yet. Tenacity, though, still going. Does give up the chase, but 3 kills for 100 Thieves very easily.
I think people forgot about what Gore Drinker does right there. That was a full HP heal, man. That guy went straight back up. Remember, yeah, Sterix gauge too, so that piled on with Sterix, he felt like a fresh man there. Like nothing ever happened. So this is going to be a Baron there for 100 Thieves after a failed pick from EG.
Oh, Tony, what are you doing here? Tried to maybe steal it with the ulti, but he's just going to be left for dead. A 4th kill, and Shoy's here as well. Gets the reset for Luger. Over the wall, he goes to safety. Does use the ultimate to get out of range.
No way.
But Jojo Pune, how did you get here? Teleporting back in, very ambitious. EG just throwing a little bit too much of themselves here at the enemy, and now's the Magnet Storm out of Silas. Stolen is nice, but it's not enough as Luger. He's picked up 2 already. He's going to make it a triple kill. Contract's trying to get 1 back, and he does indeed get it, but the laser beam is going to knock him down. Does indeed melt the Viking. And EG just get aced.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a snowball once more. It is this game.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah, we're back. 100 Thieves called these fights. It was Evil Geniuses that felt, for whatever reason, after Baron was taken, that they can take that fight. Not true. That is false. You can't do it. Aatrox has too much sustain in them, is too strong. Same goes for Luger. So this is the initial play. Just take a look at his health. My God, how do you deal with that? So they've tried for it. They failed, obviously. And so that puts 100 Thieves in a position where they're now going for Baron. And Evil Geniuses are like, okay, do we contest? Like, do we fight for it? And that was their call.
Didn't work out, as we learned. 100 Thieves. Oh, it's like 10,000 gold ahead almost. Still chasing him. Can be getting it ulted by Jojo Pune. But exhaust him. That's a really good target there. Oh, goodness. What happened to Tenacity? Couldn't get over the wall, but the rest of the team is here. Can be finally going to die. Show you over the top to kite out of the way of the Aatrox. But there's Tenacity dominating. What a surprise. He takes out Contracts. And now Jojo Pune, 1v3, going to dive back in, but get killed by Luger. He's got 11 kills now. Goes legendary on the game. As Shoyu's just going to get dunked. Tenacity going godlike. Gets yet another, and it just doesn't matter. So far behind now for EG, and 100 Thieves looking real good to tie up the series.
This is going to feel like a really bad game to lose if you're EG. Like, with how much of a lead you had through mid lane, to turn that into 6 deaths piling on to Jojo Pune, it was just overall planning, feeling really confident of how they want to take these fights. There was a lot of mistakes that ended up happening here. Now, this is my funniest part. Yeah, you're right. Aatrox could not get over. So, in fact, it was Shoryu and Silas that changed places to get over the wall, and Tenacity's like, all right, I'm just going to deal with the Olaf here, who's now alone. So, what are you going to do about that? And going back to the point.
What a cue.
That was nice. This game felt like it was EG's for sure, and then they stopped making plans and started getting a little lazier around, okay, you know, enemy top laner has TP advantage, our top laner's in a really bad spot, we're just going to invade anyways, and then that bit them. And I know that Dragon contest also was a huge mistake that ended up happening that put Ornn really far behind. There are a lot of things this game that, you know, they would want to look back on They just don't have the time to do it. Very limited time between game 2 and game 3.
Yeah, as you can see, middle has been opened up, so there is that threat as well. 100 Thieves can look to apply pressure to. Tenacity's just face checking every brush because he's Tenacity and he's got 7 kills. Ulti out of Kenvi here, and they're going to chase in on 2. That is Olaf. Alistar's dead though. Olaf's going to die as well, and Poom gets killed. That's nice. His second one of the game.
We are in
Feeling
full
like he's
smart mode.
Yeah.
See hero, kill hero. Yeah, we didn't even need to see that. This game is over.
It's like 5
Jojo
Olafs.
the captain, he's alone.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he did make that TP play post-Baron, so I do appreciate that the team was continuing to listen. That is unreasonable. Oh god, he's dead. Luca goes legendary, just a couple bullets in the back. Thumbs up. Jojo Pune knows what's up, and I think EG do as well. We're going to have to reset the mental because 100 Thieves barreling down the top half of the map in record time, looking to knock down that Nexus.
Yeah, this feels like a speechless conversation that's happening with just the thumbs up span. Between the tilt thumbs up and the yep, we'll take this game. I want to see how quickly 100 Thieves want to take this. I feel like they just don't need to back ever. They back here, I mean, like, maybe for a TP from Tenacity, but he's already insanely ahead with Guardian Angel. All right, they're just going to play it safe here.
I mean, I was going to say, like, there is some value to prolonging this game, maybe, right? It depends. If EG are already talking about what they want to do next game, then you're maybe just giving them extra time. But if they're, like, still going to keep their heads in this game and want to be like, well, maybe there's a chance we can come back, right? Maybe, then actually prolonging the game might do some good mental damage on the other side. But let's watch this one again, because Tenacity deserves a bit of a highlight reel with how fed he's got this game.
Yeah, I mean, this one is just him auto-attacking him to death. They're so far away from
this is
their
the
own
one we
turrets.
missed.
Silas and Ornn are not a part of the play either, and just look at the passive that Tristana has, where she is a mile away from you, but it does not matter. Just getting chipped at.
Yeah, it turns out when you have, you know, 20 kills between your Ornn and your Tristana,
He's in
not to
trouble.
mention 20 assists, actually, they've mirrored their score lines. It's just that Luger's stolen more kills. All you have to do is auto-attack your way to victory. And for Tristana especially, position she's very familiar with as a champion, with that passive draw a bead, as you mentioned. EG still trying to keep them at bay, but they are 15,000 gold behind. That Dragon Soul's out the window, by the way. Not getting anywhere close to Dragon number 4. It's up in 30 seconds. They wouldn't even be the soul if they got it. And 100 Thieves are going to look to end the game right around then anyway.
Yeah, EG just needs that one banger fight, okay? Anything that gives them a chance. But yeah, the next game. But like, they have 3 waves of super minions. They're going to have to just do something. Not a lot of people are going to like it, but what choice do they have? So, are you seriously going to play for Baron here, 100? You have 3 downed inhibitors. Stop it.
Telling you, Raz, mental damage.
It is a you're right.
Keep EG thinking that they're still in the game.
Keep them in.
If Kojak steals this Baron, though, it's a complete mental win. Tenacity's going to try and cut that off. Ragnarok's going to get popped. Rest of the team's going to fight, but they don't have 2 here. Kenvi going to pop the ulti, chase down the Olaf. Kojak's in there, hoping the Baron was a little bit lower. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't. Luger going to get yet another kill, and once again, it's a rout. As Shoryu's going to run away before being dispatched by the rest of 100 Thieves. As DeMonte collects one here, and Tony Top is busy fighting the minion waves before the rest of 100 Thieves are going to stream in to end the game. They did get Baron Raz, so they will at least end with that one taken as well. But 100 Thieves, for the first time in a little while here in the Proving Grounds, are going to even up a series here and take a game off of Evil Geniuses Academy.
They're scaling. That's what it is. You can only lose so many times versus EGA before you take that first punch back. And what a game for Tenacity and Luger. Deathless for Luger, 14 kills. He was insane. He was a silent assassin. I know we were talking about Tenacity a lot because now you have that carry in the top lane. He's been there all season long. You finally have the chance to like show him off to your friends. Meanwhile, Luger has been the best AD carry in Academy, and he showed it with this game on Tristana.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets going, he's like unbelievably good. And Luger, it's nice for him to have a showcase game here, as we are going to get ourselves a pretty spicy series. 100 Thieves have tied it all up, and the desk is going to break it down when we return. So we'll see you there.
Welcome back to LCS Proving Grounds presented by Verizon. We just wrapped up game number 2 between Evil Geniuses Academy and 100 Thieves Academy. And guess what? 100 Thieves A managed to tie up the series 1-1. Fellas, last time we talked a lot about the impact that contracts had on game number 1 for Evil Geniuses Academy. But Joshi, a lot of the enabling on the side of 100 Thieves really seemed to be coming from tenacity.
Yeah, this is a really big surprise just seeing how this all worked out. Obviously, he popped off in team fights, but we got to take some time to look at his early years and how he actually got strong enough to have the impact that he did in a lot of these later fights. And to do that, we're going to have some opportunity to examine his laning phase, something that we didn't really get to see a whole lot of on the actual stream. And it's going to be really interesting to watch how this Aatrox pick that we called out as being something really big that he used to play all the time is actually going to have some opportunities to pop off. All right, as we get through it, super fast, everybody, right? He does the early thing. He pushes it in. He does the LS cheater recall, comes back to lane with the longsword. And notably, guys, when you do this cheater recall, you do it because it allows you to get the wave pushing back to you, right? Tenacity is doing a good job bullying Tony Top, and by the time we get here, there's a freeze. Tony Top has to give over a ton of HP and mana in order to break this freeze, maybe bring his jungler up, or he can try and make something on the rest of the map, and that's exactly what he does. He tries to come bot lane, but he's already weak. He's not level 6. He doesn't have an opportunity to do much of anything, and importantly, let's contrast this to what happens when you suddenly have a strong top laner coming down to actually interact with the rest of the map. Tenacity finds a low native carry, he finds a low Olaf, and it's very, very difficult for the members of Evil Genius to do anything. You get multiple kills, you get an assist off of this, and while we saw some of the lead up to it, he's able to cement his lead by making smart plays around the map. So watching Tenacity play through this early game and actually have a plan on what to do with it is something that is really exciting for a new player.
It's crazy because that TP from Tenacity came right after Contracts gets a 1v3 kill onto Kenvi in his own jungle. Just absolutely shut him down. We were sitting here like, okay, this game's over. Contracts is doing the Contracts thing against Kenvi, but that one TP play, you look at the Orin level 5 TPing in, didn't get anything done. You look at a level 7 Aatrox TPing in with 30 CS up over his top lane opponent. That's a lot scarier of a top laner.
The reaction time from Tenacity to execute that TP to completely close in EGA in that moment was super effective, and I'm sure it contributed a lot to his effectiveness later on in the game, Kangas, because we saw World Ender completely unfolds.
Yeah, Tenacity with the leads he got in the early game. Again, just up in CS, that one TP was a huge play, but then we see what he's able to do with that lead that he had. I'm so happy we highlighted him as a player, because these are the kinds of team fights that you're going to remember for years to come, right? You're on the Academy stage in the lower bracket. If you lose this series, you're out. But if you have a performance like this just does so much for you. Wouldn't have been able to do this if he didn't have that insane lead that he had. But like, look at what Tenacity does in this fight. I'm so happy, Joshi, that you highlighted him as one of the players that we should be watching. Very, very promising young guy here in the Academy scene. This is his, really first full year that we're going to see him in Academy from start to finish, presumably as long as he's still in the summer. And I just can't wait to see what this guy does next, man.
As far as watching this so far throughout his career, this is Tenacity's magnum opus, right? This is the best game of Tenacity we have ever seen, and I just gotta point out his damage per minute. This guy is ending worlds. This guy is a bit evil as the 100 Thieves, right? Up against the Evil Geniuses, we just gotta say that this guy is living evil. But we also have to shout out the other player that we were highlighting from 100 Thieves, Luger, looking really, really good because he has this huge front line to play in front of him. And Luger, we've always looked at as this later game scaling AD carry. He's not necessarily the most impressive laner, but when you get to this point of the game on the Tristana and you have this much support, he's able to make it work way better than a lot of his other compatriots would have.
He was up in CS, Joshi. He was up in CS over his lane opponent at 15 minutes. This is unheard of. He learned how to CS. So great performance from Luger. Love to see that too. But also just going back to the Tenacity point, this is we were talking during the show. He's learned how to play weak side, right? He's playing the tanks. He's playing playmaker for the team. But seeing him on the Aatrox, first of all, still not strong side. Like, he wasn't getting ganks. It wasn't that he had jungle pressure. He was creating these advantages himself, which is just impressive to see. So, I mean, I predicted a clean 3-0 from Evil Geniuses Academy, so I'm already incorrect in my prediction, and I'm starting to sweat because if we see this kind of tenacity show up throughout the series, I can now see this going either way.
I just want to highlight one more thing, right? You talk about the fact that he's not getting resources, but he is also giving resources to the rest of the team. We didn't necessarily see this, but during the mid lane fight, Tenacity had to push. He had the opportunity to move first, and because of that, the exhaust Nocturne suddenly feels so confident to go forward and take these fights because he knows that his top laner is going to be able to move first. And watching him play throughout this tournament, like, again, magnum opus, this is his masterpiece.
And it shows the evolution of these players. I mean, Kangas, you had mentioned the fact that Tenacity has evolved, being able to play weak side as well, but Kenvi having that trust. This was a duo that was so aggressive during their time together on Next and have found ways to diversify themselves within this current roster. But 100 Thieves Academy will find themselves on red side because the Evil Geniuses Academy have elected to go back to blue. Seems to be the choice of the day for everyone. Kangas, what do you want to see?
It's kind of hard to say at this point because that last game, we were very critical of the Nocturne early picked up from 100 Thieves Academy. We were thinking, okay, when you pick this so early, it gives the enemy team time to lock in a bunch of B-falls. But we saw that, and the Nocturne pick still worked out at the end of the day, even though it's put so far behind because of Tenacity. So I'm looking at this next game thinking Evil Geniuses Academy, you got to realize, don't let Tenacity get on a streak. You know, you got to cut this off right now if you can. Maybe get him on something you're less comfortable with, or at least get Tony Top on something he can match with. Because the Ornn, you're not going to be able to match the Aatrox with. You need something that Tony Top can actually play aggressive on. So I think that now that they're on the blue side, they might still get counterpicked, but give Tony Top something to be a little more, carry-oriented with.
Yeah, I mean, Ornn is somebody that is maybe a bit more used to not being really utilized early, but when you get to the late game and it's still not the case, it's not the greatest place to be. Joshi, what about you? Thoughts going into game number 3?
I have to echo a lot of what Kangas just said and what Peter Dunn, the coach, said previously. This is going to be a series that is largely determined on the top half of the map, and this is the second time where we see that happening once again. The actions that the top laners, the junglers, and the mid laners are going to be consistently making are going to make or break a lot of this game. And finding that top lane counter pick, giving yourself these options to actually play to that side with an advantage. We saw Tenacity bring out the first Malphite he's ever played in this series. It didn't quite work out, but it's the kind of thing that I want to be seeing more of throughout the rest of the day.
I mean, well, in the end, for the rest of the day, with our scoreline all tied up, we will have to see if Evil Geniuses can quell the tenacity of 100 Thieves. We're going to kick it back to a break, and when we return, the action continues.